This is not a black screen video. I'm just sitting in my room in the dark, stroking my stash, minding my own business. I maybe shouldn't be making this video because I'm a fitness coach and I'm here to tell you you don't need a fitness coach at all. I did, the majority of the work in my fitness journey without a coach. I have gotten coaching the past like 3, 4 years, but it's all been for martial arts. I've gotten a little bit of help with weight training, but like not real coaching. It's just been some advice from friends and from my trainers. But the coaching I've gotten, it's all been in Muay Thai and boxing and jujitsu. So it doesn't make sense for me to tell you you need a coach because you really don't. Like, I'm jacked, guys. You could get jacked without a fitness coach. This is what I would do if I had to start my fitness journey over. And the first thing I would focus on is just getting consistent. Find out how you could get into the gym every single week. And when I say every single week, I really mean at least 2 times a week. If you're doing 2 full body training sessions every week, you're going to be in great shape in like pretty short amount of time, especially compared to the person who's not training at all. So 2 times per week minimum is going to be a great benchmark to start at. For me, training 5 to 10 times a week led to my best growth. Really, I like 7 days a week. I like training every single day, at least a little bit. If I'm not doing weightlifting or martial arts, I'd at least take like an hour walk. I'd at least go on a run. I'd at least hit like 2 or 3 sets of an exercise just to get the blood flowing. Something light, right? I'll still count that as a day that I worked out. I've had days where I did a set of 20 squats and went to bed happy because I got my workout in. And I know it's not much, but do what you can, all right? I like daily training. I find that, 2-a-days is really beneficial, but really just a short session every single day is amazing for health. And I'm not here to promote any sort of workout split. You could do upper lower, you could do push pull legs, you could do full body, you could do every day, you could do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. The best workout split is the one that you actually stick to. So try out different ones, see what works for you, see what you like, and just keep showing up. Consistency is key. And along with consistency, you're going to want some consistency in your food intake, which is why nutrition is so important. You don't want to be like splurging. I had a really bad problem where I would binge eat and I would purge. I had bulimia. I don't want to talk about that in this video, but I've got videos about that. You want to be consistent with your eating. There's plenty of ways you could do that, but the number one way I've found is actually cooking for yourself. So if you cook your own food, you're probably gonna like it. And if you don't like it, you just haven't cooked enough food for yourself. Because if you are consistently cooking for yourself, you're just naturally gonna find out what kind of food you like. How much salt do you need to put? What ingredients agree with your body? Like, what should you be eating? I'm not here to really recommend anything in specific. I would say focus on cooking large batches of food so you actually have food to eat, right? Don't just cook like a little meal for yourself. Cook a whole bunch of food so you could share it with your family, your friends, so that you have food for tomorrow and maybe you don't have to cook tomorrow, right? That's what you want to do. You want to get a little ahead. And if you're cooking healthy food, if you're using like whole foods, I'm talking single ingredients, right? Eggs contain one ingredient. They contain eggs. Apples contain apple. Freaking honey contains honey in it. Garlic contains garlic. I would avoid processed foods, like don't be messing with that stuff. Now, that's not to say I don't sometimes mess around and indulge in, junk food or processed foods. Of course I do, but I try not to make it a staple in my diet. And the more I've done that, the more I've just not wanted to eat that stuff because I know it's not good for me. I know it doesn't agree with my body. I know the stuff that I'm cooking or that my family cooks is just way better for me. I like it more. And, sometimes I don't like it more, but it's better for me. And that's really the important thing is just getting in the habit of making that choice. What is better for me? Avoiding the processed garbage. Now, you could do stuff like track your calories, track your macros, which is great. If you could do that, if you like that, that's awesome. Personally, I've done that. I'm not the biggest fan, but it totally works. Now I will track my protein. And when I say I track my protein, I basically mean I eat way more protein than I need. And so I just never fall in that range where I'm losing muscle because I'm eating a ton of protein. You could track your carbs and your fats. Those are energy sources, and I don't really care to track them so much. I like tracking the protein because that's really the building block of your muscle. And yeah, there's like micronutrients like vitamins and minerals. You could track that too. I don't do that. I never had a problem with that. Just eating whole foods has pretty much solved all my nutritional problems. So I'd recommend eating whole foods and cooking for yourself. With your training, you're going to want to make most of it based around compound movements. So compound movements are movements that require multiple muscle groups to work. Doing things like squats and Romanian deadlifts will cover pretty much like the majority of your leg training. Doing pull-ups, chin-ups, and rows is going to cover most of your pulling. You're going to be training your biceps and your back and different angles of your back, doing exercises like dips, bench press, and overhead press. It's going to work your shoulders, it's going to work your chest, your upper and lower chest, right? So that's pretty much all you need. Now, I would say don't skip abs or lower back because those are going to pay dividends in the long run, and you're going to get so much stronger by training those things. But training is kind of simple. You don't need to do a ton, but if you are interested in bodybuilding, you're eventually going to get into isolation movements. So with isolations, you're basically isolating whatever muscle you want to grow. If you want to grow your biceps, you do bicep curls. If you want to grow your triceps, you do tricep extensions. If you want to grow your calves, guess what? You got to train your calves. So find out what you want to focus on, find out what you want to grow, and then test out different ways to isolate it. Do some research, try out these exercises for yourself, and just do them, right? Don't make anything crazy. If it's on a leg day, train your calves, right? You could train your calves on your freaking arm day because they're not going to be sore most likely. You could train your calves pretty much every day if you really wanted. Some muscle groups take a lot more beating than others. Some of them recover a lot quicker. So learn how your body works, all right? The last thing I want to talk about is skills. And this is going to be a major key to success. You want to be focusing on some skills. You have to pick some skills you want to develop. Now, this could be an exercise, like my buddy. He wants to learn the pistol squat, so he's working on his squats. And now I actually got him to do some pistol squat negatives. So he's specifically training that movement because he's strong enough to do it. He just hasn't built the neuromuscular pathways to actually balance, to actually get into that position and push himself back up from it. So figure out what motivates you, whether that be a handstand, whether you just want to be big and strong, you want to have a huge deadlift. If you want to have a huge deadlift, you should be deadlifting pretty often. If you want to have massive legs, you should be training your legs pretty often. If you want to do a handstand, you gotta do a handstand. You gotta get upside down, hand on your stand. You know what I'm saying? So this can really make or break your journey. You want to know what skills you're going to work on. You want to know what you're going to grow. And then you can just look into that. These are your goals, right? This is your goals. You're working on skills. You're working on your goals. You're chasing these things. So without further ado, guys, that's just about it. Thank you for watching. Jesus loves you. I'm going to put my link for personal training in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.